Hi, I'm Lucy. I run Oxford Sling Library, and I was just pegging out slings in this heat. It's about 30 some degrees in Oxford today. Whew, and I was feeling empathy for all those people who have a baby strapped to them right now, because it is hot. And yet sometimes your baby still doesn't want to be put down. Sometimes you still have stuff to do. And a way to meet your needs and meet their needs is to carry. But in the heat, obviously, there's a few things we need to think about. So I thought I'd do a quick video and just point you in the direction of some solutions if you are carrying a baby in the hot weather. So solution number one would be a choice of sling that kind of fits with the heat. So this one is a hemp Tula Explorer I'm using. I find natural fibres much cooler than the polyester equivalent. So if you're stuck in a polyester sling, feel free to borrow something that's different from the library if you need. I still find that even though this is a natural fibre, if I was doing a lot of outside work today, it's going to get really, really sweaty. And if I can't regulate my temperature, then the two of us have problems, right? Because they are not regulating their temperature. We are doing it for them. So we need to make sure that we are in charge of our temperature. And if I can't keep cool in a padded sling, it might be time to look for something that's a little bit lighter weight. So this, if I love Tulas, for example, this is the Tula Light. I really like it because it packs into a bum bag. So, I mean, so awesome. This one works from, I think it's about 5.5 kilo to about 13. So it's not going to work for your teeny tiny bubs, but usually from about 3 months onwards, depending obviously on the weight of your kid. It's really, really lightweight. And I feel very breathable in it, even though it's not a natural fibre. So this is made of a ripstop nylon. I'm going to do the pre-clipped method. As you can see, I can't reach behind to do up my clip. But yeah, I really, really like it. Whew. For hot weather, it's also, because it's ripstop nylon, if you're doing things like taking an older kid to a splash park, or if you're running a sprinkler to keep your other kids entertained in the garden, then I really like that this fabric is quick to dry. It dries in, like, it pretty much comes out of the washing machine dry whenever I wash one, which is awesome. Sorry, you can go a bit more symmetrical. There you go. And I really like that it doesn't sag in the wet. So yeah, you could look at something that's a lighter weight sling. This is a version of it. And many of the slings that we've got in stock, not all of them, but many, we have kind of like a mesh equivalent or a lightweight equivalent. You could also look at something completely different. So one of our faves in the heat is this. This is called a mini sling. They are really well designed. They're made of recycled polyester. I think it's a Netherlands company that make them, and I really, really like them. They're a one shoulder sling, so this is probably not your 2-hour hike option, but realistically you're probably not doing a 2-hour hike in this weather anyway. There is one little safety loop, boop, that I put a foot through. The other foot goes straight through, and it's basically a pouch sling with some adjusters on it, so it does a similar job to a ring sling, if you know what I mean. So I'm using this top section today, so I'm going to do that up. But if I was wearing it on the other shoulder, I'd do this one up instead to provide head support. I'm just going to tuck up a bit of fabric between us, and because it's still a little bit loose on me, I just pull here to tighten that adjuster. So this side hip carry is a classic one for a kid that's beyond about 3 months. So they've got full hip abduction, they've got head control, and they want to see the world. But similarly, if I had a smaller kid or one whose development stage was a bit different, I could have them on my front. I could raise that top edge up a little bit more for a teenier baby. But this is a very, very cool option for carrying. I love that I've got one whole armpit free to the elements. So there we go. There's a couple of different options. So choosing a natural fibre, choosing a lighter weight or mesh variant helps some people. Choosing a completely different sling, typically one that's lighter on the body, is another option. And just a massive shout out to our absolute workhorse in the sling library, the ring slings. They are super, super, super popular. We have loads of them as a result. All of ours are rainbow, so you can see what you're doing. and they're a lush option for toddlers on your hip, for tiny, tiny babies on your front. And they've got the natural fibre element and a really, really precise carry. So more precise than the mini sling. So if I was carrying a heavier kid, there's no upper weight limit in these. Whereas I think it's about 15 kilo in the other one. So these can be used to carry nosy toddlers and teeny tinies, preschoolers. And it's that fabric really spreads the weight across your back. I'm doing not the best job in the world. There we go, that's pretty good. So there we go. I love a ring sling in the heat too. If you're stuck carrying and get overheating, but your kid will not be put down and you only have what you have, other ways that you can keep cool. This is a muslin that has been soaked in some cold water. And back in the day, my kid would only sleep in a 3-layer stretchy wrap when he was tiny. And I used to put a wet muslin around my neck to keep me cool. As long as you're cool, they're cool. If you're getting over hot, then they're getting over hot too. Make sure you do loads of hydrating and make sure you're in the shade when you need to be. Feel free to use a flappy fan as you need. A wide brimmed hat, a hat for them, obviously if you're outside in the sun. If there's some exposed legs going on, then your options are sun cream or to use a muslin, or in this case, a wide section of the sling fabric to cover those legs so that we don't get any sunburn, and obviously a hat on the head. But realistically, if it goes over 30, you may find that whatever you do with all these hints and tips and fans and shade, you're still just running really hot. If you can't regulate your temperature, if you're getting hot and sweaty, there's a risk of overheating for your child if they're on you. So it can be that the best thing to do on a really hot day, if you can't keep cool, is to take your baby out and give everyone some air. Use other caregivers if you've got some in your village. Take breaks when you need to. You don't have to be in a sling. Sometimes just being in arms is enough. Yes, you can't get as much done, but when it's hot, it's hot. So I hope this helps people. If any questions, leave a comment, pop me an email. Take care. Bye.